Reputation book tag. This tag has been done in a lot of different ways, where basically it's the songs from Taylor Swift's Reputation album, and people have put a question that coincides with the book that coincides with the song. So for this one, I mainly chose the questions from Liv's books tag, so I'll put her tag as the original tag below, but I have taken 1 or 2 questions from somebody else's tag because I could answer those better and I didn't have answers for the one that Liv had. Like, yeah. So if you are now ready to hear a lot of Taylor Swift songs and see a lot of bad lip syncing, then let's get in to the tag. Question 1 is ready for it. What is a book that you are or were excited to read? So for me, 2 books that I am excited to read this year, 2018, are Iron Gold by Pierce Brown. If I am not mistaken, it is kind of a continuation slash spin-off of the Red Rising trilogy. I just know that it takes place in the same world and has some of the same characters with a lot of new characters, and I'm very excited to get into this one. And of course, the other one that I'm looking forward to reading in 2018, which I have not yet purchased because it is not yet out, is A Card of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas. Question 2 is Endgame. What are some of your favorite OTPs? Now for me, one is not going to surprise you at all. That is, of course, Feyre and Rhysand. More me and Rhysand, but I mean, since it can't be me, I'll let Feyre have him. And another favorite OTP of mine would be Inej and Kaz Brekker. Question 3, I did something bad. Name a book with morally gray characters. One book that springs to mind to me on this morally gray characters area is definitely The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chenani. I never say that right. Soman Chenani. As it says on the back of this, sometimes the princess and the witch don't look like they do in fairy tales. So there is definitely a blurring of good and evil and some morally gray characters in this book. Question 4, don't blame me. What's a book that you recommend to everyone? Now, there are quite a few books that I would recommend to certain people because of their tastes or their likes and their dislikes, but I think that one book that I could actually recommend to everyone that I know at least would be Half Bad by Sally Green. I think it has something for everyone. I don't know why. I just feel like whether you're a guy, whether you're a girl, whether you're gay, whether you're straight, whether you're bi, like whatever it is, whether you like action and adventure, whether you like fantasy, whether you like whatever you like, I feel like Half Bad just has a little bit of that for you, and it's really fun. Question 5 is Delicate. What is a book that you will never loan to anyone? Now, I am not good at loaning my books. Even if I don't like it that much, I'm just not good at loaning my books. When they leave the bookshelf, first of all, I'm just like, there's a space on my bookshelf and I don't like that space. Secondly, how is it? What are they doing to it? Are they bending it backwards? Are they folding the pages? Are they treating it with care? Are they drinking and putting the stained ring thing on the page? What is happening to the book? I do not like lending my books out. I do it, but it is not my favorite thing to do. However, one book that I don't think I will ever loan out is one that I haven't even unwrapped from the plastic yet, and that is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated version, because just looking at this, I feel like it's beautiful, and from what I flipped through in the store, I just... So I don't see this ever leaving my sight, just no. Question 6 is, look what you made me do. And it is, what is a book that got you into reading? The gateway book. I started reading when I was quite young, and I could trace this back to like when I was 3 years old reading Spot the Dog. But I think one book that like sticks out in my mind when I think of like being young and reading and falling in love with reading and that fantasy side of it, at least, it was a book that I don't have anymore, which makes me very sad, and I need to get a new copy of it. But it was by Enid Blyton, and it was called The Faraway Tree. And there was Moonface and just, I think it was a spoon or something, and they were living in a tree, but like lots of different creatures was just in this tree, and it was just like a magical adventure, and this little boy and this little girl went to the tree, and it was just amazing. And just, that was definitely, I was just like, wow, words on paper are amazing. So it turns out Taylor Swift has a lot of songs, so I'm not gonna do all her songs, but I'll throw in some here and there. Question 7 is So It Goes. What is a book that sucked you into a particular author or series? Now, of course, there's the obvious one of Harry Potter that sucks everybody into J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. But I'm not going to choose the obvious one because that's too obvious. So another author that actually I just happened to stumble across because I thought like the first book in the series sounded interesting, and I'm going to read other books by this author because yeah, she's officially sucked me in. That would be Cinder by Marissa Mayer, which sucked me into the entire Lunar Chronicles series and has made me a fan of Marissa Mayer, and I will definitely be getting her new books, especially what's it, Renegade, I think that's out now, and she just has a couple of others, if I'm not mistaken, that I'm definitely going to be getting. But yes, the Lunar Chronicles are a bunch of fairy tale retellings, and all the characters of the fairy tales are beautifully interwoven in this very clever way, and it's quite sci-fi-ish, and it starts off with Cinder, I don't know if you can see on the cover, but it starts off with Cinder as a cyborg, and it's just, it's amazing. Question 8 is gorgeous. Name a book with a beautiful cover. This actually took me a while to think of because I do like a lot of covers, and for instance the Lunar Chronicles cover, I love the feel of it. It's very soft and velvety. I know there's different versions of those covers, so maybe you don't have this version, but this version is very soft and velvety and smooth, and I just love the intricate details. However, one cover that I've always really liked, and I've kind of liked the rest of the covers in that series just for the simple style thing, is Red Queen and the other ones. But yeah, I don't know again if you can see, but basically there is a kind of 3D element to it where it kind of reflects back here. So I don't know if it shows properly, but it's really great. It gives a 3D effect as if the crown is coming out of the book. And then there are these drops of red and silver blood, which kind of also have a little bumpy, nice, awesome effect, which I feel is so perfect as well to just so nicely describe and so simply describe the story of the red blood and the silver blood and just the crown's upside down. So I think it's just such a perfectly crafted and simple cover with just lots of subtle elements that make it so great. Driving in a getaway car, driving, we never get far. Mystery, think about the place where you first met me. Question 9 is Getaway Car. And this is the question that I changed from the original tag and took from another original tag. And so their getaway question is, what is a book or book series that you have abandoned? Now, as you know, I'm not the fastest reader, so I have a lot of started series that I haven't yet finished. But one series that I've started that I think I've pretty much abandoned, although I've heard great things about the following books, so maybe I will get it one day, but at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, I'm probably not going to go back to it and get the next ones, and that is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. But for me, it was just the writing style I felt was just a little too much and a little too long to say one thing. So though the story wasn't bad, and though I do believe that probably the story does get even more exciting and fun, I do kind of feel like I don't know if I want to read and sit through more endless prose. And I still, like I say, I don't know, but as far as I can say for now, I feel like I've abandoned it. I have so many books that I want to read, and you know, I don't know if I'm ever gonna have time to throw in a book that I wouldn't mind reading. Question 10 is King of My Heart, and I feel like we don't need to talk about this, we don't need to get into this. I'll just leave him up here for you to look at and admire. Question 11 is Dancing with Our Hands Tied. What is a book that made you want to dance around when you finished it? You may be seeing a recurring theme / author in this tag, but that would be A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, because it just had everything to perfection. There was all the feels and all the ahs and all the ahs and all the ahs. But then when I finished it, I was just like, yeah! And it was just an epic dance party when I finished this, and then she said there was a Court of Frost and Starlight, and everything just got better. Question 12 is dress. Name a book character you want to trade wardrobes with. For this, I have chosen Clary Frey from the Mortal Instruments series. It was actually difficult for me to decide who I wanted to change with, and I was like, actually, maybe I want to change with Hermione because then I can wear the clothes and that means I go to Hogwarts, right? But no, I'm guessing we're just talking about the wardrobe, not the life. So in that case, I chose Clary Frey from the Mortal Instruments series because I kind of like her simplistic style. I like that she wears jeans. I love the torn jeans and the normal jeans. I like the shorts with like the baggy sweater. I like the jackets with the 3/4 sleeves and just like a t-shirt. I'm a t-shirt girl. I do like t-shirts with like sayings on them and stuff like that, and I feel like Clary kind of gets that. Question 13 is, this is why we can't have nice things, darling. This is another question that I didn't take from Liv's Books tag, and I changed it to another original tags question. And the question I chose was a book that made you want to smash and destroy everything, either from frustration, anger, sadness, whatever it was, it made you want to tear the place apart. For me, that was Morning Star by Pierce Brown. Now, I managed not to tear the place apart. I managed to survive it and keep going. But there is a part in this book where I wanted to throw it across the room and I wanted to tear down everything and just go Hulk on this place. Question 14 is call it what you want to. For this one, I couldn't actually think of a title so much that I didn't like or that I thought should be called something else. I did, however, think of a book that, for me, it made me think of fantasy, and it wasn't, and I've mentioned this before, so if you see my old videos, you won't be surprised. But more so, not just the title, but the whole cover. I just feel like it should be done differently. I feel like the cover should have been changed, I feel like the title should have been changed, the description should have been changed, and that is And I Darken by Kirsten White. I don't know why, but And I Darken, and with the image of the girl on the front, it just gave me such a fantasy feel, and I thought it was going to be so fantasy. And then I turned to the back, and it's like, Lotta had a sense for power, the fine threads that connected everyone around her, the way those threads could be pulled, tightened, wrapped around someone until they cut off the blood supply or snapped entirely. And in my mind, I just got a vision of magic threads. I mean, it's entirely my fault. It does not say that it's magic, but I just had the feeling that it was. There was a princess, there was a brother, there was, you know, I don't know what else. It's a retelling of Vlad the Impaler, but with a gender switch, which is really quite cool. But yes, I think because by the title and the cover, what I expected, it was not, and so I didn't really enjoy it. And I actually didn't end up finishing it, but I still have a little card in there to mark the spot of where I was, just in case I decide to go back to it when I'm more up to or into this particular story. And the 15th and final question is New Year's Day. What is a book that gave you a fresh outlook on life? Now again, there is the obvious one, which I'm not going to say, but actually one, again, recurring author and possibly series in this video, is A Court of Mist and Fury. But there was just so much happening, so much connection in this book, and so many scenes that really just changed my outlook. One scene in particular that springs to mind is the star scene, and you know, to the stars who listen and the dreams that are answered. That honestly struck something in my heart that just changed my whole outlook on everything, on how books should be, on messages that should be ingrained in people's hearts, and just on perfection. So honestly, I love this book. And that is all for the Reputations book tag. I hope you enjoyed getting jiggy. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye!